Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. And it's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work on projects from beginning to end. And tonight I am continuing my Jean Quilt. So I did manage to get pretty far on it over the holidays, and thank you guys so much for coming in here again. I know it's been like a week or so since I've seen you. It's so goofy. Anytime I see you guys again, it feels like forever. But so over the holidays, I was able to finish quilting it. So I've been tying the Jean quilt with just hand tying it. So with little wool bits of yarn, I have been tying the batting in the back and the front together. And that's what's going to hold the whole quilt together. And I was able to make a binding. And I started sewing the binding on, and I did not finish. I'm still hoping I can finish before 2020, though. So I have one full length to do of the binding, and maybe about 3 feet on either side, or 2 feet or so on two other sides. So we are so close. So I thought we'd work on it a bit tonight, and I'm hoping we can be done before the new year. So all right, I'm gonna flip you around so we can get going. And thank you all again for joining me. I hope you had a great holiday. I know there's still New Year's coming up. I'm back for that. All right, so here is the quilt. I'm going to get low here tonight. So this is the back of the quilt. I got all my little supplies here. So here's a lot of the front. So I did finish tying it all. And I am almost, I'm through just about 3 sides of the binding. So here's what the binding looks like from the front. So it is just like a little kind of crisp black frame. I think it's going to frame the quilt really nicely. And I did bring some quilting weight cotton home, but then my mom had this black kind of like, what is it called, like duck cloth or something. So it's a little thicker. It's not as thick as canvas, but it's still pretty thick. It kind of has the same feel a little bit as the jeans, like the same heft. So thought it would be kind of a fun idea to use that. So I did make all this binding. That took, man, making binding, you don't think of those little bits, but that takes forever. Here's one of the seams of the binding joined in here. And now I'm just stitching it on, and here is where I left off. Now I stitch what some people think is backwards. So I stitch from right to left, but holding it where I see the back of the quilt, like where my hand is underneath here. I think a lot of other people stitch above, like holding the binding above and then stitch this way, but I don't know. I'm more comfortable doing it this way. So I got back from my parents' house for Christmas yesterday, and I'm so happy I did, because someone asked about snow. It was totally fine. We thought, oh man, we thought we were going to be in trouble. Oops, I have some threads started on here. I thought I was going to be in trouble for getting here, because it was pretty gloomy, or like potential super weather on Sunday. But it was, we had no like snow yesterday when we drove back here, but the entire way, like the entire 5-hour drive basically, was like deep fog. so it was super duper duper foggy, so that was not fun. But it wasn't, hardcore snowing or anything like that. Today, however, I'm so happy we didn't leave today, because today it is just intense wet snow, and it's so slippery underneath the snow. So that would have been just horrible to drive in. So I'm happy. I'm happy we made it here before all that. So I just have to deal with that for the week. I had to shovel some of it already. All right, so I just tied a knot in the end of my thread here. I'm using some 30 weight cotton thread. It's a little thicker. The cotton makes it not so strong when I'm stitching. Like I find that it wears by my needle here, but the rest of the fabric is cotton, so I think it's going to be fine. I just can't have long stretches while I'm doing the binding, otherwise it will kind of tear, it will break off. I'm using this because it is the only black I have right now, and so I'm just using it. I'm using all the stuff that I just have around. It is good thread though. It's 100% cotton, and it's 30 weight, which makes it just a hair thicker than our normal sewing weight thread that we've been using. So it's been working so far. I just can't have a lot of, I have maybe about 18 inches or so here. So, all right, I am, so it looks like a lot of you guys are stitched this way too, with like your hand underneath here. Oh, you had bad fog. Christmas evening, or Christmas Eve, or Christmas evening. Yeah, it really was, it was so warm. Bonnie, it was 60s and 70s in St. Louis over Christmas. Yeah, for us, it was high 40s. According to the weather, I think it was going to be like 50s one of those days. I don't know if it ended up being that or not, but holy cow, was it nice just to be outside and walk around without it being like so cold. All right, I'm just going around that spot twice just to kind of lock that in place, and I am going to get Mr. Thimble activated here. That's going to help me just push in the end here. Ooh, I'm going to have trouble hitting you guys tonight here. Let's hold on. I'm going to move my cord just a hair. All right, that should be a little bit better. But yeah, I couldn't believe just the heat wave. Even now with all the snow, it's warmish out. All right, so I'm just going in the back about a stitch, like 1/8 of an inch or so, and then I'm catching the front, or catching the binding. So back, and then a little bit of that binding, just the couple threads there, and then I'm using my thimble to help me push it through. I probably don't need to, but after a bajillion stitches, that thimble's gonna come in handy. I did not get my new thimble yet. Ugh, I gotta do the tracking on that again. I held my mail when we were gone, and I suspect we don't have all the mail yet. Oh my gosh, you had to turn the AC on when all the family got together in Oklahoma because it was so warm. It's just crazy. So on the way home, we were in that big line of storms, and it was kind of looping around the whole entire state, and we were able to drive home the little pocket that that was open for just like a couple hours. So it worked out perfectly, but it was really foggy. There was times when you could, like, the billboard next to you would just show up because you couldn't see it beforehand. So that was, nerve-wracking a little bit, but we made it. So that's good. Then it got a little rainy in Minneapolis here, but today, just crazy wet, sticky, slippery snow. Yeah, fog is not fun, but it's better than blinding rain or blinding snow. I could still see a few car lengths ahead of me for, like, the worst it got was I could see a couple car lengths ahead of me. And then, just driving slow. And if there was a car right there, I would be able to see the back. So that's not fun. But when it's pouring rain on the highway, you can't see anything. You can't even see that. And we went during the day, which was helpful. But all in all, made it back fine, and it was a lovely, lovely vacation. Got to see family. want to see Chad Kitty? We thought we lost Chad Kitty, but then he came back because he loves us. So that was the drama of the holiday, I suppose, for just a day. But he's puffing up for the winter, so he's just huge. Like, he's got the biggest fur coat. He's just a big ball of fur right now, and it's cute. All right, so as I just approach my finger, I'm just kind of folding the next bit over. Some people, I mean, I could put wonder clips all along here just to hold it all up, but I don't know. This seems fine to me. Stitch a couple stitches, move down. I'm not gonna, it's all gonna stay in place because I've already sewn it down. What I did do is I don't know if you guys can tell, but there is a zigzag here. I did zigzag stitch around the quilt before I sew the binding on, and I'm so happy I did that because these jeans are a little flexible and don't really want to stay in place. So instead of just sewing the binding on, oops, I lost my needle here. Instead of just sewing the binding on, I actually sewed around that edge to kind of hold everything together, and that worked great. Oh, I did send the email with the schedule. That should have gone out on, I think, last Monday. So right before the holiday, I did send that out. So if you're looking for the schedule email and you're on my newsletter, just check spam just to make sure. That stupid spam folder always catching us. Otherwise, I'm just trying to remember what it even says now. I am just totally getting back into things. But so I believe the plan is the first full week of the month we'll be working on the Granny Squares quilt. Oh, Charlene, I was just talking about this too. I think this is my favorite part of quilting too. I seriously don't think I would mind doing this for other people's quilts too. Like, maybe if I retire someday, I will start a little business of just hand sewing people's bindings on, because I know this is a lot of people's least favorite, but I love it. You get a little bit of that hand quilting or that hand stitching feel. I can watch movies and whatever while I'm doing it, and it is the last step. So you feel good the entire time, like, oh, this is it. We're doing it. So it is my favorite part too. All right, so the first full week is the Granny Square quilt. So we'll be starting that up. Oh gosh, I believe, okay, whatever the Monday of next week is, at the 6th. We'll be starting that then. Week 2, we will be doing the Splendid Sampler 2, just keeping that up because I don't want that project to go away. Week 3, we will be stitching the embroidery of the month, and yes, there is a new embroidery. The new embroidery of the month is going out January 1st. And that also means that this month's embroidery of the month, the Swan embroidery, is going away. So if you didn't get that yet, you may want to get that. It's a PDF download, or it is the PDF download plus the supplies bundle that goes with it. I think I have 6 more of the bundles left. They come with that really pretty and yummy smelling candle and the supplies you need. So that goes away. And then, so that's, you got one more day, one more day for that. So tonight and one more day, and then this one is done. That'll come off the website, and the new design will go up. And for that, again, it will be the PDF, because I know some of you just want the PDF design. Then it will be a supplies bundle with a fun little guy, a little trinket in there as well. This time, though, the supplies bundle does not include a hoop or needles. I do have hoop and needles, though. I did put a listing. It'll be in the embroidery of the month category, just in case you do still want the hoop and needles. So that's that. Oh, Lucy says that even my husband likes the candle. That's awesome. Yeah, the candle with the swan. It says creating all the things on it, and it is such a beautiful smell. It really is, and and there's a lot of smell in there. It's gonna be more. It's a small candle, but it packs a punch for sure. It'll make a room smell nice really quick, and it's a natural soy candle as well, and it's awesome. I love it. Oh, you can't find the swan pattern? If you guys are getting the PDF and you can't find it, be sure to check spam. If you still can't find it, email me and I will get it to you. Oh, I missed a question there about needles. If you just asked about needles, you type it in again or copy and paste it into the comments again. And thanks for coming in again, everyone. I know it's always a little weird when I'm gone for a week. I will be here all this week. So this is kind of like a free week right now, because next week we start up. I didn't finish telling you the week. So week 1 is the Granny Square quilt, and I have to pick fabrics for that and stuff too, so we'll kind of go over that. So that will be the first full week. So this, again, is kind of like a free week before that full week. Then it's the Splendid Sampler 2. We'll work on more blocks, keep that project moving along. Then the week 3, we will work on the new embroidery of the month. And we're doing that week 3 because then if you wanted to order the bundle, you'd have it in time for us stitching it here. I want to make sure that you have everything you need for that. So that's why we're waiting till week 3. And then week 4, we will be doing the Aurafill block of the month, and that's the Colors of Italy project. I will be doing July's block, so I'm super excited. I'm one of the designers for that. So my block, I lost my needle again. My block will be in July, and I thought we'd work on the quilt as well. I know some of you guys were interested in that. Do look. I did send an email about it, so check spam, or do a search for, I think it goes from emails at Penguin and Fish, do a search for that, just because, even though I just told you the schedule, I do have links to it, so you can have links to the pattern, links to the Aurafill stitch along and stuff too. Oh, you think you'll do the Granny Squares quilt with neutrals? That's what I'm kind of trying to figure out. Like, do I want to do a bright color for the background or what? I almost want to do black for the background and then some bright colors for the other colors. But I'm not positive yet. And, so I'm putting this out there. I don't know if we'll do this, but I would love to... Oh, in the email, there's no links to the PDF of the Granny Squares quilts. I'll have to check that out again. I'll make sure to post it again in the group here as well. I thought I had all that in there, but I guess not. But I would love to, when we're done with the Granny Square quilt, which won't be for a while, obviously. I would love to crochet a granny square Afghan. I would love to do that. So I know some of you said you would be interested in a beginning, like a little beginning crochet deal, and I think a granny square would be just a really fun project to do. So we can make a bunch of little granny squares, and I would love to make it match whatever we do for the quilt. So I have that in my head. I don't know if we'll do that, but I just think that would be so fun. So that might, maybe if we get the granny square quilt done, sometime during the year, maybe that will be the project to replace it when it's done. That would be neat. Or maybe we just finish the quilt top, or I don't know, we'll see. But like, I would love to do that too. And it's just, crocheting is just so relaxing too. I think the granny square crochet, I think that would be easy enough for a beginner to do, and I would go really slow as well. And you can, you'd be able to watch again and again. So I would go through the whole process. I'd really dig into the beginning aspect of crochet for it. I think if we go slow and we talk about it, I think a beginner who's never done anything with crochet before, I think you'd be able to do it. So I think it'd be kind of fun. And something just a little different. Get another craft in here. Oh, you're very interested in the Aurifil block of the month. Me too, Tracy, sorry. I think that's going to be kind of neat. And the colors are just going to be amazing. I know they are. All right, I'm stopping. I'm getting kind of towards the end, and I can tell that my thread is getting a little weak by the eye here. So I'm just going around that same spot one more time, kind of locking that in place. And then I'm just going to kind of shimmy my needle down to the seam here, and I'm going to tie a knot. This will get all hidden. I'm going to lose the thimble here for a sec. Yeah, so I think the Aurifil block of the month, let me know if I'm wrong, you guys. I think you can just go there. It's free. I think you can just go there and I think the new blocks are released on the 15th of the month, so no blocks have been released yet. It's new, so the 15th of January, I believe, is the first one. I don't know. They maybe have an email to sign up to make sure that you get the new block, but I'm not even positive of that. You might have to just go there on the 15th, but I'll look into that a little bit more. Okay, I need thread. So there, that's it for the thread. I'm this far to a corner, so we'll try and get close to that tonight at least. I may have to work on this a little bit on my own if I still want to get it done this new year. So maybe I'll keep putzing around on it, and then we can stitch on it a little bit tomorrow too, I think. I may be here. We don't have anything going on for Pat Sloan has a sign up for it. Okay, Nolene, I will check into that a little bit more. So by tomorrow I will know more about the Aurifil thing. I'll dig into that a little bit more, how to sign up, and I'll see if there's fabric requirements or any of that. What I do know is that you're going to end up with 12-inch squares. So they're larger squares than we've been working with at all here so far. 12-inch squares are, I mean, the Triangle Tango quilt, I think those ended up being 8-inch or so squares. And then the Splendid Sampler, those have been 6-inch squares. So 12-inch, that's a whole new world. So, that times 12, it'll be at least what you need to make that much fabric. So I'll check into that a little bit more, see if I can find some fabric requirements. Maybe that'll be told to us later. I'm not positive. I will look into it a little bit more. No, Terry, there is a pattern. So the Granny Squares quilt was from an American Patchwork and Quilting
magazine from years ago, but they have it for sale on their website, um, which I believe is apqshop.com. I'm not quite positive, but I'll put a link to that um, in in the group here again as well. I thought I had I thought I had links in the email, so check the email for sure that I sent out last week for that. But I'll post that again here on Facebook. There is a pattern, and I think it's less than $10. I think it's just a digital pattern that you can get for it. So that's what I'll be using. Yeah, it's like $6 exactly. Yeah, it's you know for a whole giant quilt, $6 is not too bad, I don't think. Oh, the link in the email didn't work. Oh, try clicking the photo instead of the link. Gosh, I thought I tested all those. All right, I will. I'll link to it in the Facebook page here, or I'll send another email out with the updated link. We'll do that when we're done here. Post it in the Facebook page. But that'll be. I'm excited for that one. I think it'll be neat. I read through the. Oh, yours works. Yours worked. Correction. Huh. So, I will post it again. Just if you didn't get it to work for you, I'll post it in the Facebook page. Anyway. Um, so I read through the instructions. I got to when I first bought the pattern, which was a couple years ago. It's taken me a while to get this scheduled. But if I remember correctly, it was done differently than I expected. So I was looking at, just the design, and I thought I'd figure it out, but then I read the instructions and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is different than I was thinking for sure. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to work on, I think. And it's just so cute. I love. I mean, it's called Granny Squares. It's paying homage basically in quilting to the crocheted granny square, which is a very kind of common uh, crochet motif, the granny square, and then you can stitch them all together to make like a granny square Afghan. It's kind of like the quilting version of that, which is kind of fun. So it's paying tribute to granny square crocheted Afghan, and that's why I think it'd be really kind of fun to make one, to actually crochet one as well. Which I've never done. I've done a granny square before, but I guess I've never done a full granny square Afghan. So I think that'd be just kind of a neat project. I suspect it will take shorter time than the quilt, but we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe they'll be about the same. Let's get some more. I've been leaving the needle in there while I gather the next section because it's kind of like a pin holding things in place. Versus doing it now where, this could come undone a little bit. Man, I'm itching for my new thimble. I was hoping I could test that out a little bit with this tonight. But I suspect it's in our held mail, and I don't think we got our held mail yet from over the week. For you, the quilt would be faster. I'm just thinking, I think maybe the quilt top would be faster, but gosh, I underestimate how long quilts take all the time. Oop, I lost the needle again. Dang it. And that was revealed to me again just working on this quilt over the weekend. Like, just the binding took forever. And then just sewing around the edge with that zigzag stitch before trimming it. Geez, that took forever. And so every little step is just takes longer than I think. So that's why I can't quite judge in my head like a quilt takes way longer than anything. Did you happen to see on Penguin Fish Crafters, you posted the, crochet dress and plate. Oh, Robin, I will check that out for sure. I have not been anywhere yet, basically. Got home last night and worked today for a bit. And it was all like physical work in the warehouse, so I haven't been on the computer as much yet, but I will definitely check it out and get back to everyone and in the next couple days. Oh wow, Noli, that's exciting. I like the idea of neutral. I've seen like the granny squares with the white background and then the really bright, little extra colors in there, and those are always so striking. I'm not sure I want to do that though. I don't know. I'm really kind of torn for colors, so I'm gonna have to definitely think about that before we get started. And I want to use stuff in my stash. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, you like this binding method. So yeah, so typically I think, usually when I do it like this, people say, you're doing it backwards. But I think what people are used to doing is holding it this way. So it still comes over, but instead of, like I'm holding it over the top and going this way, versus how I'm doing it, holding it under and going this way. It's just more comfortable for me. I like holding it under like this versus up. You could also do a ladder stitch here. I like the little where you do the tiny little stitch right across, and then the next stitch you go just through the back, and then you just grab the little edge right there. Oh, Betty, you do it the other way. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that this wasn't the typical way until I think a couple of quilts ago on here. A bunch of people on here were like, "Oh, that's upside down or backwards," and I couldn't quite understand what they meant until I got it turned around the right way. I'm like, "Oh, this is what you mean." I'm still going right to left, but the binding's on top, so I'd be going around the quilt in the other direction, basically. It's easier on your left hand to do it the way that I'm doing it. Oh, that's interesting, Sue. Yeah, that's important when you're, doing 1,000 stitches, this hand, just anything you can reduce, any way you can reduce stress or anything in these crafting projects, the better. So I'm always on the lookout of easing that sort of stuff. Oh, this is the way you're taught to hem up a dress, and so this is how you do the binding too. Oh, that's funny. Oh, Robin, you do it this way now. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and we've done other ways of binding. We've done the enclosed or the binding where it's what do we call that? The self. Ugh, this is not what it's called, but like the self-contained binding where we don't do an extra binding like this. We just flip over, the excess background color. We flip it over to the front and just sew it down. We've done that before, and we've done the machine sewn on. So instead of hand stitching it all on like this, we just stitch it by machine, which is fine. It goes fast, but I don't know. Oh, I've done a binding strip where it's just like you pre-make the binding strip and then you sew the front and back all at once on it. I've done that before, but there's just something so relaxing, I think, about hand stitching it on at the end like this. I know it takes a long time. Oh yeah, self-binding, a self-binding binding. That's what that's called when you take the back and you flip it over to the front. I have machine bound stuff before, but I just really, really, really like hand binding this. And again, it's just that it's my favorite step. I know some people hate it, but it's my favorite step. You just get to chill in the knowledge that this is the last step, And I just find it really relaxing to do all of these little stitches. It's just like the last little icing on the cake for the whole thing. So even when, I know I could do this in a faster way, and, I did have enough fabric that I could have done the self-bound binding, like doing the back fabric and putting it on the front. I just really, really like this way. Got to use up some more fabric to do it. I like it. You guys do too? Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people don't. And if you are stitching under pressure, like if you have a deadline, like if you have, I need 3 quilts bound by Tuesday, you know what I mean? This would probably not be the method I'd use. I'd probably do up a binding, and which alone takes some time, and then machine stitch it on. I'd probably attempt to do that, even though that takes a lot of making sure everything's positioned right and all that too. But still, I mean, yeah. In the end, I'm guessing that's probably a bit faster. Actually, if I was trying to go super duper duper fast, I would probably skip the binding and do where you have the front and the batting, and then you have the back of the fabric, and you put right sides together. You sew around the edge, leaving that space, and then you flip it inside out, and then you just sew down the edge around just so it stays flat. You guys know what I mean? Kind of like if you're making a stuffed animal or a bag or something, and you had a you sew the 2 pieces with right sides together and have to turn it inside out again. I would maybe do that. If I was really under pressure for getting like 3 quilts done, envelope style, yep, like that. Just get it done that way. It's together, it's done, and that's it. Not a French seam, more like if you're sewing 2 squares together, but you wanted the finished edge, you'd sew the 2 squares, leave a little opening, and then turn them right side out through that opening, so then you'd have that nice edge. Like that. You'd have to pick it out so it's all nice and everything, but still. Oh, you helped someone use Wonder Under to glue the binding down with an iron. Oh, well, now that's a good idea. That's an idea. I haven't done that before. Using like an adhesive to get the binding down. Gosh, that'd be a great way to do it anyway, to prep for machine stitching it down quickly. This is still my favorite way, though. Still my favorite for sure. All right, I'm gonna get one more thread going because we are almost to this corner. I would love to get past this corner today. I know it's a little. It's already 9:30, but I was a bit late. You guys, I'm sorry I was late the 15 minutes tonight. It was literally because since I was gone, all of my devices were dead. And when I do these lives, it uses up more energy than what it charges. So I had to wait a few more minutes to get things charged back up. Oh man, I really want to get to this corner, though. I think it's a little bit more stitches than I think to get that far, but it'd be nice to circle it. Oh, thanks, Tracy. This is actually from one of my penguin and fish fabric lines, and I thought it just fit perfectly with the squares. It's kind of just like my log cabin style block almost. So it reminded me of that, and the color was white, right? That dark blue to go with the blue jeans, and this black too. I knew I wanted to do this black binding. I don't know, a black binding really kind of frames a quilt really nicely, I think. Oh, that's fun. Betty says that she counts the sides down. Only 3 more sides, only 2 more sides. Alright, well, after this corner, I have only one more side plus 2 feet or so. After this corner, I'll have one more corner left. Oh my god, I started Catherine this Jean Quilt at least, for sure, a decade ago. And as we use jeans, I would add to the quilt. So, you know, I didn't start with the amount of jeans I needed for this. It was just kind of as we wore our jeans out, I kept adding to the quilt and just haven't worked on it consistently. I'm going to try and find... I have a photo that I took when I started it. I'm going to try and find that photo and see what the date stamp on that photo is. And then that will be, you know, then I can get a real date. But I would love to get this done. It's in 2020 yet. Oh, I did not make a label yet either. Bonnie, that's the one thing, because I always... I should do a label. I get annoyed with the label because I do this binding, and in my head, the binding is this last perfect, beautiful step, and then I'm like, oh wait, a label. So I'll have to do some sort of label. You're right. I should do that somehow. I'll have to think about that. Maybe I'll the Decade Denim Quilt. Seriously, that's a great name. I think that's what this is gonna have to be called. That is it in a nutshell. So I'll find that. I'll find when I started it, so I can get that date too. It'd be fun to just write the dates when it was started to finish, just to remember how long it took. So, like, maybe I'll just stitch, like, embroider on the back of this instead of doing like a label that I sew on. Maybe I'll just try and embroider through the back or hand stitch, or I don't know. But yeah, I should do that too. I do have a penguin and fish label that I'll, you know, just like a little kind of tag that is going to get sewn in once I get that far in the binding. But a label with some information, I need to do that too. You're right. That would be sad to have this decade history with this quilt and then not record it a little bit. All right, I'm hoping to do this corner now. Oops. Still a little ways away from it. I was thinking of you guys this weekend when I was stitching the first corners, because what was it called? Like, there's a way that you don't want the W, you want the, what was that? We'll get to that, but like, I forget what the little rule was, and I had to remember that when I was stitching this weekend, but I'll show you what I'm talking about once we get to the corner there. Yeah, we used that, those skinny adhesive-y things too when I took that clothing, that shirt making class a year or so ago, or a couple of years. We used that to hold down the seam of the, like, arm or something before, the armhole before I sewed it down or something, that under tiny little strip. It's like a 1/4 inch wide or something. Maybe not even, it might be like an 1/8 inch wide little tacky strip that you can stick down and then iron. I hope this quilt is around for another 100 years. Or not another, but 800 years, that'd be cool. Ugh, Robin, I am with you on that, that's for sure. We had that week recently that I couldn't come on here because of our internet. If you guys remember a couple weeks ago, it was because CenturyLink turned on some other house's CenturyLink and then turned ours off in the same like motion or whatever. So it wasn't even anything that we did, and then then it wouldn't come out for like a week too. So to fix it, That's fun. And that's about what we have. We have Comcast, and we switched from there to CenturyLink. Fun. I did not clip my corners for this quilt, so I don't think you need to. And my corners, I think so far are working out. I'm gonna stitch to about here, so like another 3 inches or so, and then we'll deal with this corner. Oh yeah, a pig snout. Oh yeah, so it was a pig snout or that which we didn't want. We didn't want the pig snout. Was it a witch hat? We want the witch's hat, not the pig snout, something like that. And I'll show you exactly what we're talking about once I get to the corner. Then I'll show you what both look like. I think basically one is a way to make a kind of a sharper, cleaner corner than the other. All in all, I think it's another little detail that, yes, in theory, probably makes the quilt that much nicer. I think it's a detail, giving the quilt police another chance to dock you on something, probably. Whether it's a pig snout or what was it? Or the witch hat, or I might be remembering that wrong. But pig snout, that sounds right. Okay, a few more stitches and we'll get there. I'm thinking though that I have a whole other edge, and there's not much left of the new year, or of the old year, so maybe this will be a 2020 finish, and not a 2019 finish. Oh well, we'll see. Alright, let's get a little closer. Yeah, I'll go to about here, and then we'll start looking at it. Alright, let's do this last stitch. And I'm just going to let it kind of hang out. 2020 does have a ring to it, though. I know, it would be kind of neat to finish in 2020. Alright, so here's how I do a corner. So I am going to just keep like folding it over. Oh, this one feels funny. And I'm going to just kind of tuck that corner up in there. I'm not cutting it. Although this feels a little goofy, like maybe I do have too much up in here for some reason. I might have sewn it a little tight or a little goofy. But first of all, I'm going to remove some of these extra threads so they don't get in my way later. I'm just going to trim this quick. Okay. So I'm going to fold over this edge as much as I can. So it's almost like it's just a continuation like this. I think I actually sewed it a little tight onto the quilt, so it's not acting so perfect, but maybe I can get this guy in here to kind of push out that corner a little bit. Well, I'll have a little goofy corner on here on this quilt, I guess. All right. So then I can then turn it and then flip this side around. Wow, yeah, this is really tight. I might actually trim this. Because this is not looking good. Hold on. I might have just cut in a little too much with the sewing machine, so I am going to just trim this a little bit. trim a little bit that way. I am going to cut the corner just a hair. It's a little too bulky in here. We'll see if this happens on my last corner. None of my other corners were quite so bulky like this, so... Yeah, actually, Charlene, that's not a bad idea. It might be a pounding it sort of situation, just to really flatten it out. But I want this fold from the front to be right up in that point, so I'm just trying to maneuver it a little bit. See, now it's a bit straighter. All right. And then this side, I want to flip around. Oh gosh, yeah, this is just not being nice to me tonight. So maybe we will go over these again when I go around that last corner. And I'll show you some of these other corners. But as you flip this around, once I flip it back this way, my corners should line up at the bottom here, which right now they are very much not. So that's why I'm like, ugh, I gotta figure this out. But like when I flip these two over, this point should meet with this point. Let's see if I can get another corner up here. All right, so here's another corner that I did. So you can see really close here. Here's the line on one side, and then the other side, those 2 points should meet up at the bottom. They're your fold points. And then here's like the witch's hat. So, oh gosh, with the black, it's really hard to see, but one of the fold is tucked under on this side, and the other one is tucked under on the other side, so they're going opposite directions. Although this one, I think I'm doing the same direction. I don't know. This one's not being fun. I think I'm going to just stitch up to it a little closer and see if I can help maneuver it a little bit closer. So I'm going to just keep stitching along here. I know, I should get a wonder clip out too, maybe. Just because this one is being just silly for me tonight. I might actually need to tuck it under the other way. Let's see. If I have it totally flat here, I should have enough slack here that when I fold it, they should meet up just fine, but it is just so bulky that I'm not getting that happening really nicely. Yeah, I'm getting just a weird bloopiness. I'm going to just trim it even more. I do not like how it's playing tonight. I'm going to get the big scissors out. I don't want to accidentally cut the binding though either. All right, let's see how that does. All right, I think that actually feels a little bit better. So let's come along here. Yeah, I'm just going to get around this corner, and then we'll probably call it an evening here. All right, so I'm to the, just like, or I have just a little space left there. I'm going to fold this edge over this way. Ugh, yeah, I'm just totally struggling with this corner tonight. Maybe if we go this way, it'll be a little bit better, but then we're getting that pig's nose, I think. Yeah, when we have the, oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I should do it that way. Hold on, let's try doing it this way instead. So instead of having this side go down first, I'm going to do this side first. Maybe we can trick it into getting a little closer. Get up in there. There, okay, so now that's a little bit more lined up. And hammering it down wouldn't actually hurt that much. So actually, I think that was probably the right thing to do because now our folds are going opposite directions, which is what we want. Then it doesn't look like a pig's nose. It looks like it's more of a point, like the witch's hat thing. So I just want to get my fold really up in here. Just trying to really manipulate that corner. And now I'm going to kind of tack down that corner a little bit. So get that tight again. Those points really should match up, so I'm going to really try to hold it there. So I'm going to tack down this other side. And then I'll stitch both again. I think that might be what's going on, Lucy. I think I probably sewed the binding on a little too much, like a little too far in, so my seam allowance is maybe a little bit big there. But I think we got it now. I think this is going to be fine. Just getting around these little corners again. I like to tack them down a little extra. And I'm going to actually do a couple stitches. Get the thimble on. I'm going to do a couple stitches down the next row, and then I will come back and stitch these edges like miter. Get this mitered edge going a little bit better. So there, and I'm tacked down, but before I get too far, I want to fold this over and do a couple stitches in this direction. Just so everything lays flat. Thread's getting away from me. Okay, so I kind of have it started along the other edge. I'm going to just do one more stitch here. And I'm going to do that one little locking stitch in the same spot just to hold it in place. Because now I would like to go back to this corner and maybe manipulate it even more a little bit. And I'm going to stitch down these little open flaps here. So there's one on this side, and the one on the other side should be going in the opposite direction, and that creates more of a point right in the middle here. If it looks like a pig nose, like if they're both going if the tucks are going in the same position, which is kind of what I was doing, which is not what I wanted, then they will just look a little bit more like a pig's nose. We're trying to get it more to a point, and I mean this is extra pointy, but I think it'll all settle itself down once I give it a wash for the first time. So I'm just going to tack down all of this fold. So I never used to do that, but I gave it a go once because someone mentioned it here, and I'm like, fine, let's tack those down. I haven't really done that. And it did actually make things look just really nice. I'm just going to come up there. So I'm just going to go up this edge. Yeah, this will get better, I think. Just kind of how I was stitching the other binding, grabbing a little bit from the fold there. Little baby stitches. So now our fold will be tacked down to, and I'll go about there. That's pretty fine. Yeah, I'm wondering about that. I'm actually wondering if I can get it in my washing machine. That's the last step. Just to try and give it a wash. Yeah, it'll take a little while to dry, but that's okay. All right, so now I'm gonna just pop over to the other side here, to the front. And I'm going to tack down those stitches as well. Gosh, I do just have a lot of extra seam allowance in here or something. It's not the prettiest looking corner, I do have to say that, but oh well. The other ones look nice. So right now we're 2 out of 3. Hopefully I can be 3 out of 4 nice looking corners. That kind of worked a little bit. Oh well. Yeah, I can always take it to the laundromat. I'm really, really, really hoping I don't have to do that, though. I'm hoping that I can get it in my washer. I think I will. I've done a few quilts in there at once before. Not as huge and as heavy, but I've also washed a bunch of jeans in there all at once, so that's kind of the same as this, right? So I'm hoping we'll be okay. Good point, Kathy. Don't put the label in this corner. Then everyone will be looking at this funny corner here. All right. I think that's actually going to be my last stitch, so I'm going to go around there again. So it's just so silly, but tacking down this little fold really does make it look nice. All right, and then I'm going to just go to the back again. It's going to be a little difficult because it's so much fabric here. That's why the thimble is nice. Good enough, close enough. I'm going to try and get that through, and then we'll continue where we left off here. I gotta yank this through. Ah, good, we made it. All right. So I'm going to just kind of shimmy over to where I left off. Good enough. And we'll get a few more stitches in on this side before I use up this thread. Oh, goodness. Come on, needle. There we go. All right. Rotate. We are on the next 3 out of 4 is 75%. That's close to my 80% good. That's true, Gina. Close enough, right? All right, so here's where we left off. It's actually not all that bad. I think our putzing around with it is okay, and I do think it'll loosen up a little bit or just relax itself after the first wash. I actually think this kind of canvasy fabric will get softer with a couple washes. It definitely needs to be washed because it has been drug over a decade worth of floors and fuzz. So I will for sure wash it before I get too far with it when it's done. All right, I think I'll do like 2 more stitches and we'll tie it off and call it a night here. All right, done with that corner. It is, I am using much thicker fabric as well, so might be a little more difficult than if I was just using the quilting weight fabric for the binding here. Oh, Tracy, so I will be on tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So I know I was a little late tonight, but Central Time 8:30. So that's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific p.m. And that should be pretty much the standard. All right, so I'm gonna put this needle to the side where I can find it again with my thread. Let's trim this, and I will leave everything out, I think, tonight, because I think we'll work on this tomorrow. But yeah, so now I'm on. I have this one more row plus a little bit more, and then we're done. Oh gosh, really, I do think hammering this down would probably be a good idea. This corner turned out just a little wonkier than I wanted. But like I said, I think I have two other ones that are okay. I have one more to go yet. Here's my last one to go here. As of now, it's not really my plan to take Wednesday off. However, if you guys are doing a lot of stuff on Wednesday, maybe I will just do Wednesday off and then come back on Thursday again. But we'll see. If I do come on Wednesday, it's not going to be anything big. I'll probably just still work on this guy. So it'll just be a fun little hangout for an hour. Then you can still be up for all the fireworks and whatnot. Oh, please be on. Okay, so I most likely I will, unless something totally random comes up, which I'm not expecting, then I will be on every day this week, including Christmas or New Year's Eve. All right, I'm gonna flip you guys around. All right, hello again. So let's take a little look at this. I just wanted to show you. So here's that corner we just did. It is a bit bloopy, but whatever. It's fine. But here's, so you can get a sense of that black binding. It just frames this up so nicely, I think. You can see it on all these edges. It's just like a pretty little border. So I am a fan of the black. So I just I can rotate this whole thing on my table now, and we will work on that last border. Last side. It's not really the last side. I still have about this much on the first side, but other than that, man, I would just like to cook and get this thing done. Gosh, I wonder if I could do this in two more nights. Then it would still be. Oh wait, tomorrow. Wait, no, yeah, there's still 2 more days, right? Yeah. Wait, 30th, 31st. Oh, is Wednesday the 1st, or is tomorrow New Year's Eve? I don't know. I'll be on every day this week. All right, you guys. I will try and find that link for the Granny Squares quilt, and I'll get that on. And I will get this up on the YouTube page, Penguin Fish Movies. So the replay will be there as well. So awesome, you guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Good night. Bye.